Good afternoon, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day and God bless you. Let's get into the news. And we have an update on Kari Lake's election lawsuit that is at the Court of Appeals in Arizona. That's right, is the next step to the Supreme Court in Arizona. And she's providing us an update telling us how this case is going because February 1st, or February 2nd was the first day that the three-panel judge was going to look at the evidence that was being presented in the case and things like that. And so before they make a ruling and see how this goes, how this is going to proceed, so I'm very curious on how this is all going to work out, and that's why we continue to check in on Arizona and what's happening between Kari Lake and Katie Hobbs. We know Katie Hobbs has been activating her stooges in the state offices to try to work up something to silence Kari Lake, to possibly even a restaurant. We talked about that earlier this week. And so once again, this process is working out the way it should be working out, and you never be silenced for your criticisms or your doubts about how something works, and this is what they're trying to currently do in Arizona and in a larger sense across the country, where they're telling you you're not allowed to question whatsoever any type of election, even though it was family vote to do so all the way up until 2020. Right. So let's kind of dive into what we have here. This is coming to us from Kari Lake's Twitter account. If you don't follow this, you should probably go follow it. She gives updates quite regularly for people that are following this Arizona election case closely. People like you who are watching this video right now. So Kari Lake tweeted out here. Update: this was yesterday. Here's an update on our electric case currently in the Arizona Appellate Court. The three-judge panel overseeing the appeal held a private conference Wednesday, February 1st, where the judges met to discuss the case and the briefs. This is standard procedure for any appeal. She says the panel could issue a ruling, or, if they have questions, they could ask the supplemental briefing to bring in attorneys for an oral argument. Our expectation is the panel will move this case quickly. As soon as I have more information, you'll be the first to know. I will never stop fighting for you. Arizona. Right? So what we have here is it's right now being under review. And at this moment, we don't have any new information. But she doesn't. If she isn't going to stop cheating the guy, stop at this industry panel judge rules that, there's nothing here. She's going to take it to the Supreme Court of Arizona, and then from there, it will move up the appellate courts of the United States and up to maybe even the Supreme Court. So we're gonna see how this works out, because this again, in Arizona, there is a precedent set that a governor could be replaced midterm by the person who rightfully won that election. That happened back about 100 years ago. It can happen. So again, we'll continue to watch this closely, and I will continue to provide updates for you. Are you in Arizona? Do you live there? What are you guys hearing? Are people upset about Katie Hobbs being the governor? And then this is some big news. Biden is refusing to take action on a Chinese spy balloon collecting data all over the United States, despite significant concern from the Pentagon and the U.S. military. The jobs report came in stronger than expected, which means things are improving in the U.S. economy. Pfizer admits to some very weird or Frankenstein science, and Vladimir Putin says the world will pay attention to Russia, based on something big he's planning for the one-year war in Ukraine. Now, the January jobs report came in strong. The country added just over 500,000 new jobs despite all the tech layoffs. This is a good sign for the country, and should signal to the Federal Reserve that the United States economy is strengthening, and it might be time to slow or stop the raising of interest rates. Project Veritas has just released a new video of their undercover investigation targeting Pfizer's Director of Research and Development, Jordan Walker. The undercover journalist went on a date with Walker in an attempt to question him regarding the COVID vaccine. After admitting that the company did directed evolution, not going to function directed evolution research, the secret interview took a turn when Walker admitted that the vaccine is causing hormonal issues in women. He stated there's something irregular about the menstrual cycles, so people will have to investigate that down the line. The vaccine shouldn't be interfering with that. So we don't really know. Now, Walker continued, I hope we don't discover something really bad down the line, if something were to happen downstream. And it was really bad. I mean, the scale of the scandal would be enormous. So this guy is hinting that there are going to be side effects that we don't know about, that may not manifest for several years, but then there may be an attempted cover-up. And he says this would be a scandal of enormous size. So you'll have to make your own decision on what this means. Now, last week, I broke the story. And of course, it got suppressed. But Pfizer has since released a press release, admitting that they have been manipulating the virus up and down to help them build vaccines. So essentially, gain of function and loss of function research. Now, I guess loss of function is okay. But gain of function is illegal and has been since President Barack Obama. But what did the government do? They said, hey, thanks, Pfizer, for making that miracle. Here's hundreds of billions of dollars. Well, the Pentagon has announced that it is confident that there is a Chinese spy balloon going across the airspace of the United States. Former President Donald Trump has called for President Biden to shoot down the balloon and investigate, but sources indicate that this could be unsafe, and Biden isn't willing to take the risk to find out what is real. Is this really a spy balloon as the Pentagon believes? Now, as expected, the government of China has claimed that it is their balloon, and they did not intentionally send it here to gather information. Now, in my opinion, we're allowing China to get away with this. I believe they are clearly testing President Biden to see how he would react to the situation. And both sides of the political aisle are seeing this very differently. Democrats are saying Biden is reacting appropriately and should do nothing, while Republican lawmakers are saying this makes Biden look weak. And he should absolutely investigate another country penetrating our sovereignty and spying on our citizens. But what do you think? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I want to hear from you. Should Biden have ordered this spy balloon to be shot down and investigated? From what I'm reading, he seems very confident to allow this balloon to flow over the country, gathering data about the United States, possibly cell phone data on our citizens, and the Pentagon seems anxious just to figure out what's going on, but the White House does not. I don't know why that is. I don't know why the White House seems extremely comfortable with China doing this. Now, following the detection, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken postponed his trip to Beijing, China. The State Department stated, "We have noted the statement of regret from China. But the presence of this balloon in our airspace is a clear violation of our sovereignty, as well as international law. And it is unacceptable that this has occurred." So again, you have the Secretary of State saying this needs to be investigated, it's illegal, it breaks so many rules. You have the military saying we're very nervous about this. This could be a spy equipment, they could be gathering data on us, our military, our citizens. And then you have the White House saying it's fine, just keep an eye on it. Now, the event has also drawn more attention to the ongoing plans of China. Here in the United States, China is building a $700 million corn mill just 12 miles from the Grand Forks Air Force Base. This military base houses top-secret information regarding its technology and U.S. intelligence, which has sparked controversy over whether this should be allowed. Should China be allowed to buy land near our military bases, and then build these major factories? The Air Force has stated the proposed project presents a significant threat to national security with both near and long-term risks of significant impact to our operations in the area. And yet again, the White House has given the blessing to build this Chinese factory right by one of the Air Force bases that has some of the most top-secret information from our military. Now, do you think that China is spying on America? Or are these big events just a coincidence? Let me know your thoughts down below. To me, it seems a little bit weird that the United States has two countries that we could end up in war with any given day, China and Russia. And yet we just allowed a spy balloon to mosey across the entire United States without asking any questions or investigating. I don't know. To me, it just seems very, very suspicious. But let me know your thoughts down below. Biden spoke at the White House yesterday, memorializing the 13th anniversary of the Family and Medical Leave Act. However, it quickly turned into an embarrassment as during his speech, Biden claimed more than half the women in my administration are women. So 50% of the women that Biden has in the White House are actual women, according to the president. Now, this blunder went viral on social media, with one person named Philip Holloway saying, "I completely agree with the president here. More than half the women in his administration are women." He apparently is not sure about the rest of the women in his administration. Okay. Now, here's a big story coming out of Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin has just attempted to link Germans as Nazis during a speech he gave to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Stalingrad. He stated, "Unbelievable, but it is a fact." We are once again being threatened with German tanks that have crosses on their side. This imagery is surely being used as a tactic to get people motivated to continue the war against Ukraine. Putin continued, "We will deploy more than just tanks. These powers which tried to wage an undeclared war against Russia will receive a tough response for their action." Putin also went on to say, "Germany, we don't have tanks on your border. Why do you have tanks now on our border? Are you going to war with Russia? And if so, why? Why are we going back? Why is Russia and Germany about to go to war in World War III? We already did this in World War II. Let's both nations just step out of this. Right?" So Putin has warned that on the one-year anniversary of the war between Russia and Ukraine, Russia has something big planned that will surely gain the world's attention. That's what he says. What we're about to do will get the world's attention. Now, I'm not sure what this is. But if I were to speculate, I would say we are about to see a massive show of force, likely with some kind of large barrage of missile attacks over major cities. He's in Ukraine. Again, I don't know what it is. But anytime they've said something like this, the next day, boom, large barrages of missile attacks, and they're basically saying, we're going to do a large show of force that will get the world's attention on the one-year anniversary. Thank you very much. WWG1WGA. Give me your thoughts below and hit subscribe.